those in the space are looking at the Olympics going, that's a dinosaur.
We know that like esports is an international consumption, international sport.
Yeah,
There is talk of it becoming an Olympic sport. Um,
yeah,
how
yeah.
do you think that helps take it to the absolute next level? And follow up question: which games would it include? Assuming that combat games would be ruled out because of the Olympics ethos.
Man, I mean, like squash is not in the Olympics, but beach volleyball is. So how much stock I put in the Olympics? Um, I mean, I I support competitive sport or like elite sport wherever I see it. And so to that degree, the Olympics are interesting. I remember attending the London Olympics and watching Usain Bolt, got a seat in the rafters to watch Usain Bolt set a record. But like, I my personal opinion, like, I kind of don't care, and I don't think many people in esports do care at all about the Olympics or what validation they bring. Because again, I think the Olympics is in an even worse position as compared to traditional sports teams, or worse is relative, but like their audience is getting old, very old. And the means by which you consume the Olympics as well has not changed much, man. So I think the Olympics desperately needs esports. I think it's actually the Olympics will try to distance themselves from esports until they realize, which they already have in the last year or so, that actually these are the people who you desperately want to be watching your event.
So
These are the people
you
who
think
you
it's a case
desperately
of the Olympics needing esports more than esports needs the Olympics?
uh, unequivocally, man. Like I don't even think that those in the space are looking at the Olympics going, that's a dinosaur. Like like I know that there's still a lot of national pride that comes with watching the Olympics, and kind of like the also the side of watching the elite athlete. But like as a sports fan slash enthusiast, and hey man, like I don't know how much you care about the England football team versus your local club. I for most people, I think that the you become so kind of you fall in love with the clubs that you follow on such a regular basis that they're kind of like the be all and end all. And then you do support your kind of football is unique in that sense. I think football is really unique, but like in general, the World Cup does that quite well, and then the Olympics is kind of handles all the rest. Do I really care if the U.S. win basketball at the Olympics? Like I watch it because it's basketball, but I'd rather watch the NBA finals. And I think, at least from my point of view, for folks who are engaged with esports, they're looking at the Olympics going, like, we already do this. Like, if anything, it provides it with it's a stamp of, like, you're a real sport. But
Legitimacy.
yeah, but I don't think, like I said about the audience, the people who play these games, like, I don't think
Do you
people in
do
the
you
space
think
care.
do you think though? I mean, obviously from that point of view within the space, it's kind of I guess you don't need that legitimacy from the Olympics to say it's a sport. But
Yeah, yeah,
commercially, does it not open the industry up to
sure,
so many more brands?
sure, without a doubt. So to be it may sound like an obvious like lever, that like get into the Olympics and then there's that validation. But I, if anything, it will accelerate something that's already going to happen.